Hey guys, Haley here. So today I've got my bunny Karilakuma, bunny girl wall scroll, I've got my bunny clip, little bunny enamel pin, and this is because today we're going to talk about bunny girl figures. So recently bunny girl figures have definitely shot up in popularity, so I thought it'd be interesting to do a bit of a deep dive into bunny girl figures. I've also got a few bunny girl figures that I've bought over the last 6 months of different types that we can kind of open and compare. So this video will be part haul, part buying guide, part just my thoughts on bunny girl figures in general. And yeah, so without further ado, let's hop into it. So bunny girls originally are from the Playboy bunny, which is an outfit based off the Playboy logo, and it's what the waitresses would wear all the way back in the 60s to 80s. There was actually a pretty interesting article about the design of the outfit, how it had to be practical for waitresses. It couldn't look too much like swimsuits, it couldn't be too skimpy, and they ended up with the bunny outfit, which is also just a super flattering outfit to wear for kind of any body type. Since then, it's also used in media, in movies like Bridget Jones' Diary, Mean Girls, or The House Bunny, as like a sexy costume or just like a comedic bit. But in Japan, it's really taken on a life of its own. Of course, you have real-world examples like in certain bars in Shinjuku, but it's also really heavily used in anime. So you've got characters from all kinds of shows who have canonically or officially worn the bunny suit, like Harui, Code Geass, Dragon Ball. This is often just used for fan service. And of course, you can't talk about bunny girls without mentioning Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, which is an amazing anime. But if you do a Google trend search online, you can really see the correlation of when this anime came out and when this outfit really began to get really popular online. There is also a huge amount of fan art and original characters on sites like Pixiv or on Twitter, of any character basically in a bunny outfit, especially just with Easter coming through. Everyone's in it. There is now also entire art books or artists dedicated to bunny girls. One of these art books, for example, is Kuro Bunny, with over 40 different illustrations of bunny girls, and this is supervised by Yomu, who you might know is an artist that draws a lot of characters in tights, and drew this wall scroll behind me as well. So obviously, with the popularity of bunny girls, it is no surprise that there has also been a surge of bunny girl figures entering the market. So without further ado, let's check out what is probably the most well-known type of bunny girl figure. So when you think of bunny girl figures, it's likely that you'll think of something like these, or like this, or like this. And these are all figures from a company called FuRyu, and they have a figure line called B-Style, which I guess stands for bunny style, although there are a few that aren't bunnies. So I think there's a Saber, a Miku, and a Shimikaze that aren't bunnies, but for the most part, this is your OG bunny figure line of figures. So in my collection, I have the Kurisu, the 02, and the Scathaha, and definitely these have got to be some of my favorite figures in my collection. So FuRyu bunny girl figures have actually been around for ages, since 2007, and this definitely predates the bunny girl senpai hype for bunny girls. I feel like the two main reasons for the surge in popularity for B-style figures is one, bunny girl senpai coming out and creating the bunny girl hype to begin with, but secondly, there's been a few very notable characters that have had super popular bunny girl figures. I'm talking about Mai and 02. I feel like since then, bunny figures have become super popular among collectors, despite the enormous price tag and the enormous scale of these figures, both of which are higher than average. Most people are used to 1/7, and most people aren't used to paying like $200 or $300 for a figure. At the 1/4 scale, these figures just have so much presence to them, and they're definitely way bigger, right, than your standard 1/7 or 1/8 scale, and that can be really appealing for collectors. One of the other big selling points of these figures is that they use real fabrics for the tights, and this used to be pretty exclusive to this line, although now it kind of pops up in other places as well. But now B-Style are also announcing their bare-legged bunnies, which is often how they do re-releases. In my personal opinion, I think tights will always be better, although I don't mind the bare-legged ones as much when they're kneeling or on the ground, because then there's less just leg. There's also a small set of male bunny figures which look so cute. They're from 10 count if you're into that. If I had to summarize B-Style's pros and cons, I would say pros, you're getting a great sculpt on these figures, you're getting the massive quarter scale, and finally it's a huge line with a lot of well-known characters. For the cons, it's expensive, and they're sometimes too big to fit in a detolf, so you'll have to modify a detolf if you want to put them in there. And lastly, some of the poses for the figures are just a bit mediocre. Expanding on the last point a little, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like FuRyu is coasting a little and they're getting a bit lazy with some of their designs. They just take a character, put in a bunny suit because they know that's going to sell, but what I'd like to see is when they get a little bit more creative with their designs, maybe bring in elements from the character or the show to make the design a little bit more unique. You see them give a few characters this VIP treatment, which ends up giving us, you know, super unique bunnies, but sometimes I think they get a bit lazy. I actually have a new B-Style bunny to unbox and I'm very excited. She's been sitting in a box for ages, so I'm so excited to finally open her. But she is the Kyouko bunny from Danganronpa. This will be my first sitting down bunny, so I'm interested to see what I think. So she was 21,000 yen, which is about what you would expect for a bunny girl pre-order. So here we have Kyouko in her sitting pose. I love her design. I especially love the boots. And I love that they made her bunny suit a dark purple and they kept her long tie from her original design. I think her face looks really pretty and her hair flows down her back really beautifully. I also really like her gloves and her like arm bracelets. I'm a little disappointed by the ears. I kind of wish they had more detail and more shape to them. They're kind of half straight and half floppy. I wish they'd maybe flopped one of them down. That would be very cute. It's also worth mentioning that for the figures that are sitting down, they don't have a base, so you just put them as they are, down on the glass or whatever surface you want to display them on. I think she's really cute and I love that she's sitting down. It looks really nice in front of my other bunny figures. So that puts me at 4 B-Style bunny figures currently, with a few more pre-ordered for the year to come. But let's move on to something a hell of a lot more affordable. And that is the BiCute bunnies line. I have 3 today, but I'm gonna put them down before I drop them. So BiCute bunnies is a relatively new line of prize figures by FuRyu, where they're making bunny girls. And these are very, very cool for 2 reasons. One is they're using real fabric for the tights, which is really cool. And second, that they're actually really big. So they come out looking like 1/7 figures, but all packaged at a low prize figure price. It's such a steal. And I think these have been pretty popular. There's been a couple of Mikus with a bunch of variants, and while they're not perfect, they're not going to be as high quality as a B-Style figure. I think this has definitely shown how companies have definitely raised the bar for prize figures and what you can expect for a prize figure. I'd say the pros is they're pretty big for prize figures, you're getting real fabric, and they're cheap and affordable. The cons is that the quality of the tights is not as good as your B-Style figures, and also at the moment the range is quite limited. I'm hoping they expand on this in the future. I do have 3 figures to unbox. I've got the 2 Miku ones, so this black one was the first one. I think this is the newer Miku, the white one. And I have the Super Sonico one as well, and I'm so excited because this is actually my very first Super Sonico figure. Like I've always admired her from a distance. So I got these from an Australian store and they ended up costing me about 2,000 to 3,000 yen each, which I think is on the pricier side for these figures. The first thing that strikes me with them is that they're big for prize figures. They're definitely not quarter scale, but they're definitely larger than your average Taito prize Miku. And I think the level of detail is really good for the price. There's a little Miku heart on the back of the white one, which is really cute. And yeah, there are a few flaws, but I can definitely forgive these given the price. So the tights are real fabric, which until now has been unheard of for prize figures. But when you look at it from the back, you can especially tell that the quality is definitely not the same as a B-style figure. Sonico's assets are definitely there, they didn't skimp out on that, and I think both of the Mikus are really cute. I love both of their Space Buns hair sculpts. And yeah, the figures have a few flaws when you look up close, but the faces look good, the size is good, and you're getting real tights, so I think these are a hell of a win. But BiCute bunnies aren't the only prize figure bunnies around. We've also got the Coreful Figures from Taito. So there's a couple from this line that I guess are technically bunnies. We've got Mai in her classic bunny suit, and Chizuru from Rent a Girlfriend, who has bunny ears, so I guess this counts as a bunny girl. So unlike the BiCute bunny figures, these ones don't have real fabric tights. The Mai does have like flocked ears and tails, so I'll be interested to see if those are like a feature I'd even want in a figure. While this isn't a line of figures dedicated to bunny girls, it is refreshing to just see prize figure companies make figures that aren't Miku, Rem, or Ram. So yeah, +1 for Coreful Figures. So I'd say a pro for these are they're cheap, and you can get Mai Sakurajima in her bunny outfit. I'd say for cons, detail is about average for a prize figure, no real fabric for the tights, and there's only actually one official bunny girl in this line of figures, so maybe it shouldn't even be in the video. So we have Mai and Chizuru here. I think overall they're about what I expect for prize figures. The detail is pretty good, and they're normal prize figure size, so they seem very small actually next to the BiCute bunnies. But compared to other Taito or Sega prize figures, it's about what you'd expect. So Mai's ears and her tail are flocked, which I guess makes it look a little softer, but I'd just rather if they had real tights over flocked ears. So these were also 2,000 to 3,000 yen as well each, so I'd say in terms of value, you're better off going for the BiCute bunnies than these. But I did want a Mai figure where she's in her bunny suit. So jumping back to scale figures, of course with the bunny girl hype, there are a few smaller bunny girl figures too. I did a quick search on my figure collection, and it looks like the most popular one is Alta's Skathaha 1/7 scale bunny, which is beautiful. I might be a bit biased, but I do like the quarter scale more. There's a few others, like there's a lot of a character called Sansei Muramasa, there's a Rika one which I didn't know about, and a Raita one by Q, to name a few. I think other than the Skathaha, these scale figures tend to get overshadowed by what is ridiculously a massive amount of quarter scale bunnies out there. The pros here is this is going to be cheaper than the B style because it's not a quarter scale, and you could probably find better details here than freeing if you go with the right brand. The cons is the details could be worse if you don't go with a better brand, and there's definitely a limited selection. There's also actually a new Milim bunny up for pre-order as well. I'd rather the whole bunny suit than the like bikini split, but I think Rimuru looks really cute on the platter. Okay, now let's move on to Nendoroids, since I do love collecting Nendoroids. Now on the Nendoroid front, there is a super old 3-pack of Harui Nendoroids where they come in bunny girl outfits. But apart from that, I don't think that there's a single Nendoroid that comes with a bunny girl like suit or ears. Not even the Mai Sakurajima one, she's in a school uniform in that. But fear not, because Good Smile Companies has heard our prayers and has blessed us with a blind box series where you can get bunny girl suits and ears. Admittedly, this isn't too useful now because I actually think they're quite hard to get a hold of nowadays. I did get 2 boxes when I was over in Japan. I got the black bunny suit and the light blue bunny suit. I also really wanted the red one. I think the 2 most sought after ones are the black one, so you could have a bunny Mai Sakurajima, and the red one so you can have your 02 bunny girl. So I did get a black one, but I don't actually have a Mai Sakurajima Nendoroid. So today I'm gonna present Saber, actually looking surprisingly beautiful in her black bunny suit, and Chitoge in a light blue one, which I think matches her eyes beautifully. So you do have to use the provided tape to attach the ears to the top of the Nendoroid heads. And yeah, I think they look super cute. I really want to get more now. And finally, the other main source of bunny figures is the adult market. Close your ears, little Nendoroids. And there are a lot of bunny girl figures on the adult market, with varying levels of lewdness depending on what you're into. There are a lot of quarter scale bunnies by Binding that I don't have any personally, but I think quality wise they're pretty much on par with the freeing B styles, just with the optional absence of clothes. There's a few by other adult brands such as SkyTube, where I think the quality here for these scale figures are as good as some of the best safe for work ones. There's also even this reverse bunny suit figure, which is like big brain next level bunny suit shit. So the pros here is that you've got a lot of original designs. You can get things cast off if you're into that. And you're also probably looking at great detail. And the cons are other people might judge you, and these can get expensive too. There's a premium. Controversially, I do actually have a figure to unbox in this category, and it is this SkyTube 1/6 bunny girl figure. I picked this one off of Ami pre-owned for 13,000 yen. The original illustration is from an artist called Masaki, who I quite like. She does all of the art for Psycho How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend. And I also think she kind of looks like Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses, just with slightly bluer hair. So similar to my other SkyTube figure, the Chiyuru figure, I actually like this figure in spite of it being a cast off. So I do plan on displaying her like this with her clothes intact. However, even with her clothes on, this figure is still pretty lewd. So she's definitely first on my list to hide away if there are any super sensitive guests coming over. But I think the quality is great. She has real tights. They're only thigh highs, but I think it's really cute. But the real fabric can be kind of rare for non-quarter scale figures. I think her outfit is really cute. It's a more of a casino feel for a bunny figure. And I love her face on this figure as well. I love her little blushing cheeks, and the little white highlights on them is so precious. And I also love the gradient of the blue in her hair. I think that's really pretty. I'd like to quickly make a note on the elephant in the room, or I guess the bunny in the room, which is that not all figures need a bunny girl version. I think that the bunny girl style is obviously a little bit cheeky, a little bit risque, and so my personal opinion is that I only really want to see kind of more mature characters go into the bunny suit outfit. And I think it's really great to see Freeing treat certain characters like Madoka and the Menma this way. Like, those characters, I couldn't imagine them wanting to wear a bunny suit. And I think, you know, those designs came out beautifully. So I'm glad that the companies are kind of thinking about that before just putting them into a bunny suit. So there you have it. Thank you so much for joining me on this little journey through the world of bunny figures. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe you're now armed with a little bit more knowledge about what's out there if you're an Usagi shoujo enthusiast. Hopefully that didn't hurt your wallet too much, but otherwise, that's it. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!